Welcome to Major Update 4.5 as I'm concerned. At least a bit different, bit more content happening here in the alpha version. Now, if you're wondering about the alpha version, go into Steam, right-click on Dead Cells, go to the go to Properties, go to the Beta tab, and then hit Alpha. I would not suggest doing this though, unless you're, making a YouTube channel based around Dead Cells, because oh boy, is this unstable. We're talking soft locking, we're talking hard locking. This game crashes a lot. I would not recommend it. However, there are a lot of new things. You can see in the upper right corner here, tons of balance changes. And also a couple new items here too. So here's what I'm going to say. Check down in the description for the new content, for timestamps for the new content. But otherwise, I'm just going to do a regular old run and kind of look at like what's new, what's changed, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you can already see right there in the middle, and in fact, right over here, there is a new item. The explosive crossbow. Looks a critical blow, or it's the wrong one. Here. Fires bolts that explode, inflicting area damage. So, explodes. Honestly, terrible weapon. It has pretty much the exact same sort of deal with the, what do you call it, heavy crossbow, or like ice crossbow, where you have to charge up and attack, but the damage is awful. Just awful. I mean, look right now. It does as much damage as a non-backstabbing critical dagger. It's like, that's just terrible, and you have to actually wait for it. I mean, you can, like, cancel out the animation and everything too, but for that amount of damage, I would much rather just take... Oh, and here's the other thing it does. Yeah. This game is buggy, everybody. Thankfully, you still kind of can get the item. And that's everything that you can, like, shoot an explosive onto. For example... Whoops. Not a big deal. But yeah, now you can see it's like I can't actually go in there despite moving the door around. So, fantastic. This is all great. The other new item here, let's see if I can grab it right now, is this. Standard turret. So, what's the deal with the standard turret? Well, pretty much what they did was gave kind of the, what is it called? The heavy bomb infantry grenade, heavy grenade infantry grenade treatment to the... like the basic horizontal turret, so that what happens now is that you have this turret that does like a little bit of a burst damage. It shoots out like it's kind of like a semi-automatic turret versus the horizontal turret, which I think is now called the quick fire turret, which does like just the same thing it did before, just shoot super rapidly. I think this one does a little bit more. Oh god, no, that's the other thing. The game crashes if you shoot a crossbow bolt into the shield bearer's shield. Oh boy. Alright, hope you enjoyed the exploding crossbow, because that's probably the last you're going to see of it in this run until they either 1, fix it, or 2, make it less terrible. Oh, man. But anyway, that's the basic stuff here. The real thing is that, like they said, they've done a lot of stuff related to balance changes. Yeah, like anything... Like, okay, so previously when it came to doing balance, what you would get is you would get a... like a stat, and then you would also get a, yeah... And yeah, those are my two favorites. What you would do is you would get a stat, but then you would also get like kind of a crazy perk sort of thing. And what do I mean by crazy perk? Like when you killed an enemy, you would get a... When you killed an enemy, you would get a thing like a bonus damage after you killed an enemy. You would, bonus damage after you get a parry, lowered cooldown. Obviously not a thing here, despite the fact that it still shows that on the, shows the little icon above the tactics there. Now it's just plus 50% health, but then you lose the health gain. Oh, and plus 15% damage. You get the plus 15% damage regardless of how many stats that you get in a single, like, stat thing. However, what happens is that you lose health after you take that one. So Brutality now is down to plus 45% health rather than 50. So, like, take this to get the full, well, 225 because of math, but that's not the big change, though. I mean, obviously that is a kind of welcome change. I always was saying that survival was super overpowered compared to the rest of the various stats that you could get because it powers up it powered up the shield so you could do extra damage with that, but then it also it powered up shields to be able to do extra damage with that, but then it also gave you extra damage when you parried, and then it also made it so that if you missed a parry, you still had extra damage, or you still had the extra health to be able to take that extra damage. No, this is the real new thing. And let's talk with this. And yeah, hey, look, it's Ghislaine? Ghislaine? I do not know how to pronounce his name, but hey, he's back. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, I'm sure this place usually smells super great. Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, the real meat of this update here is this stuff. Now you get like perks at the end of each level, all related to survival, tactics, or brutality, and each one of these like scales with each one of the stats that you get. So like it's 30% cooldown right now, but it'll be like 60 if I get more tactics, etc., etc. Also a couple super cool general mutations, and it seems like the YOLO amulet has been taken out. Now it's just a general mutation. And I think, at least the way that I saw this work, that you can only get it on the first level here, and then it's locked afterwards. This is obviously the best one. For rally, I guess, this is an obvious one if you're using a bow. Maybe it's better if you have more survival. Same thing with this. Obviously, that was the one they originally had. That's pretty good. Like, I don't usually use deployed skills too often, but if you like to throw down a turret, I think, yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah, that would be, like, fantastic if you're using, like, what do you call it? Knife Storm or something. Knife Storm or, like, Ore of Laceration, because, wow. Obviously, that's just one that's good in general. I guess that's if you're using, like, grenades and you're going to be really far away. Yeah, that's obviously another great one for bows. Spiteful Sword made into a perk. That's cool. Sure, but not very good for bosses. Same thing with this. That's interesting. The Sadistic Sword being put into a perk on its own. That gimmick. I think I'm gonna grab... what do we got? I like this one, actually. You know what? Instead... You just press it twice to restay your mutations. Yeah, alpha. I think I'm actually instead going to take you. Just because I want to see, like, what's the deal? I mean, now that it's no longer an amulet, like, what do you do with it? Like, does it just go away? Do I get to choose another mutation afterwards? Is that just like a dead mutation slot? Because I do know that you can only have 3 mutations at a time, so... I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Obviously, the HUD is not looking perfect here either, because wow. And I don't know if this was like an intentional thing or whatever, but like... Here, I'm talking about this. Get out of the way. Yeah, like, what's the deal with this thing here? That's usually like to obscure little secret areas or something. Is it now being used as decoration? Is this game literally falling apart before my eyes? Yes, but I don't know. Oh, also they put the leaf effect from the Slumbering Sanctuary in this area now, which I can appreciate. That looks nice. Eh. So, perks. I do think this is a great idea. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of like the stat system before. Like, brutality's great, but it doesn't benefit you at all when you get into a boss. Survival is just far and away the winner, and tactics, while good, it's just pretty much what tactics was before, except now, you know, it does a little bit more damage if you take like a cursed sword or a... it works better for bows. Cursed sword, frantic sword, and bows, along with your usual skills. Oh yeah, they also got a new guy in here too. Well, anyway, give me another one of these. Yeah, I like the sword. The other thing that I think I've noticed... Oh yeah, also when you get a new stat now, it will tell you how much it is increasing one of your perks. For example... Oh wait, I don't actually have one of those perks, that's right. Well, if I took like the cooldown, it would also tell me how much more it's doing for cooldown, for example. Yeah, give me this. I mean, I will say this, with the perks, I really like the idea that now I actually have to think about what I need to take, rather than just like, load it, I'm doing a run with a melee weapon, load it all into brutality. Want to focus on a shield, load it all into a shield, etc. Oh, come on. Because the brutality, survival, etc. perks actually have some stuff for, like, every build, if you do it right. And the other thing here is that now I think that each one of the areas in the game includes 2 shops to be able, well, with the exception of maybe the prison depths, I don't think that one does. But like, in my very poor, confusing, crash-ridden playthrough that I tried to do with just full-on using the exploding crossbow, I did notice that, like, there are a lot more shops that are appearing in areas. Something that I appreciate a lot because, oh boy, when you're trying to find, like, an upgrade to your skills and you get, like, 5 weapons shops in a row, that's nothing more frustrating. But yeah, like this sort of setup where you would use one of the smiley face coffins to go down to a shop had never existed in the original game. And that's actually another thing. It seems like there are now a lot of new like little level chunklets, like little sub areas, secret area sort of things, all kind of including a lot of like the traps that previously only really existed in like the little challenge areas where you would have to kill X amount of enemies or whatever to get through. Something I like a lot, and I don't really see why that needs to be in the unstable, horrible alpha version, because I don't really see why that would be... Boy, there's a lot of secret areas around here. So I might as well grab them. Alright, anyway. I guess I'll take the money, but, yeah, I always like seeing, like, new little areas that you can go into and, like, revamped stuff where they give you more options. Shops, and putting it in what's, like, the super experimental branch, I don't really think that was entirely necessary. This could easily be... Some of these changes could easily be put in the regular game right now. Not the exploding crossbow, though, because that one's... Ugh. Alright, anyway, sorry for that interruption. I was getting a call. That was stupid. Anyway. I think I'm going to build mostly brutality here, because I haven't really done too much for melee weapons. So, I like this. I like this. Let's go with you. Check that out. Yeah, one of the things I noticed in the Denial Wave episode, which was the last one before this, I apparently have never really fought like the assassin with a melee weapon prior to that. because they didn't really introduce any in the Brutal update, and I kind of wanted to look through all the new runs with all the new Brutal update stuff before I went back to, you know, more normal runs or runs with like skills or anything like that. So let's check that out a little bit. And maybe in like a few... Oh yes, and there is actually in this area a new thing they have introduced now instead. I don't know if they replaced anything, but now in this area are spinners. The, you know, red-clad sombrero-wearing guys that, well, spin around. I guess that was kind of like a, you know, thing with this area not being all that difficult. At least that's how I always felt about it, but like, I don't think spinners are too difficult to deal with, but like, yeah, it's definitely something new. You know, I might actually be parrying enough that I want to take like a... Yeah, here we go. I might be parrying enough that I might actually want to take like something else to kind of buff that up. But for right now, here you can see there's the plus 60% damage. I do not know what it was previously, but it's better now? I don't know. Yeah, I think the Motion Twin soon enough will be forcing me to finally start taking different, you know, finally start making me take different stuff from, from scrolls of power rather than always just going for the same singular weapon. I'm gonna try it out a little bit this run, but like no promises if I'm not just gonna... No promises as to if I'm not just gonna go right back to, for example, picking brutality over and over. Which, as of right now, not too ineffective. Aside from that, I'm going to say, like, pretty low pressure, pretty regular run. I think that the most interesting thing about this update here is the mutations. So let's talk a little bit more about, like, that. So, mutations. I like it a lot. I think that a lot of the perks that they are giving you now in each of the like various stat areas are a little too specific to like having to use the items they're related to. For example, I would like to see if I could get like, there you go. Why are these ones so expensive? I don't know. Oh, and that's Purist. That's good. But like, yeah, I think that, you know, there's like what, two of the survival specific perks that are related to having a shield. It's like, I don't think that's necessarily like absolutely necessary. Yeah, it's like they could easily make it so that, oh, that can be useful. Sure. I don't think that's entirely necessary to have it be like entirely based around shield play. It's like, I like the whole, you know, killing an enemy revives health, or maybe even like give you a bit of extra health than when you, maybe even like give you a bit of extra health when you like, I don't know, like hit an enemy, you know, like a little bit of like vampirism in that way, maybe a little bit of extra health just over time. Oh yeah, here's a new little like level area. Maybe not the super best look where that's just kind of floating in the wall, the ball and chain there, but hey, I like seeing new stuff at least. Ah. And like brutality, for example, there's still a lot of things that are very specific to fighting a bunch of enemies at once, something that I never thought was nearly as important as fighting singular tough enemies, i.e. bosses. I mean, this is obviously the first pass here, and I want to say that in future updates they're probably going to be much more powerful, because if there's one thing that would kind of like facilitate like what is the what would get me in like a run where I'm only, say, using a melee weapon to like actually pick something that is not brutality from stats. And I think that's kind of like, that might not be literally what they're saying, but like I think that is the like high mark of what they want to accomplish here. Like, how do you get people to not just stack into one stat over and over and over? And I think that this is definitely a good start. And a whole like perk system giving you anything that gives you more options, I wholeheartedly am down with. So, I don't know. I don't know if they want to stick with these ones absolutely. Maybe like a couple, maybe like, you know, limited to a singular perk in a stat that gives you an increased like bonus against multiple enemies. But it's like, for example, here, there's a ton of enemies, and look how easily I'm dealing with them. I didn't really need like the brutality, extra damage when you kill an enemy there to take those guys out. This could also easily be like, well, I've also played this game for way longer than the average person would be doing, so maybe it doesn't really apply as much to me. Maybe like, you know, getting health back when you parry or kill an enemy is something that's super useful for everybody else that's playing the game. I don't know. Not too much in here, I'd say. Yeah, Spinner is definitely an interesting enemy to bring in here. I mean, that was originally an enemy that was only in the Sepulchre prior to this. Well, prior to the Brutal Update coming out, and then they were in the Clock Tower as well. But now they're all over the place. And although I think they can be kind of tough to deal with, as soon as you kind of understand like what the timing is to be able to roll through them as they're spinning at you, they're generally not too much of a threat. And they're more of just like a tanky type enemy that you have to deal with. More dangerous with multiple enemies around them. Of course, that's also most enemies in the game, so... yeah, the kick you get off the Spiteful Sword here is pretty decent. Now, I think this is the final perk that I'm getting here, unless I die or something. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Get double buffed up on the Spiteful Sword sort of gimmick. Now, I have not actually gotten farther than like the Sepulchre or Clock Tower because the game would crash on me. So I'm definitely interested to see if there's anything different they have with the Assassin. I don't actually know. You know what? I got the Spiteful Sword. I can just take these right to the face. That's a nice thing about the Spiteful Sword. And actually why I might want to reset the perks that I'm getting here to getting instead the one that gives you increased rally time. So then I can get back the health that I'm losing by getting hit here. Or at least have more time to be able to get it back. And there you go. See, when you just stand in that damage field, you can just get crits all the time, forever. Something I'm also noticing is that the little sword up there that indicates that I'm getting more damage. Yep, and it looks like that's it. Yeah, the thing that indicates that I'm getting extra damage there only has like a 1 next to it, which is interesting. Does that mean that you can get like 2 swords up there? Does that mean that you can get like more than that? I don't know. Slumbering Sanctuary, I remember, does now have 2 shops in it, making it actually super good to go to, as opposed to previously where it was just really good to go to. Because this place can also, as opposed to like the Fogfjord, get you plus 100% level equipment at this point in the game. I guess I want the extra health. I don't really have anything to benefit from more tactics, so I guess I'm just going more survival. More damage here too. I don't know. I guess I'll take a shovel. I have not used a shovel in a while. Oh, that's actually considered a survival weapon. I don't think it was until this update. That's kind of crazy. Enemies burn when they die. I should take something that does burn damage if when I find the other shop. Oh. Take this right here, too. And then what's the actual damage I'm getting on this? Shovel 7, 766 damage. Not a huge amount. Alright, that's enough of that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll probably be enough to be able to finish this run pretty easily, but like, I don't know how good it would be otherwise. I'm definitely interested in seeing how much damage I can get off of the... Definitely interested in seeing how much damage I can get off of the assassin with like a full combo of this. Because as always, that's the real test of a... That's the real test of a item. Oh, hey, new graphic on that. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, you can see that even if you get like a whole ton more health, it seems like you also take quite a bit of damage in this update too, from pretty much everything. One of the things I was actually running into when I was kind of doing a little bit of testing around and a little bit of preliminary scouting out was that shockers actually are very, very much of a threat now, rather than just being a threat when you, rather than mostly just being a threat when you're going through a game without, like, taking melee weapons. Like in a lot of the challenge runs I have, one of the big things that you run into is that shockers will just murder you because you cannot kill them efficiently enough to... Nah. Alright, curse is going to be kind of an issue here. Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm going to need to dump that pretty soon just so I can get a... I'm going to need to dump the Aura of Laceration soon because I don't really have anything that's syncing with it too well here. I will wait to take care of... I'm going to be waiting to take care of the elite there. Okay. Yeah, if you get rocks to fall on an enemy, they are stunned for a very long time. Oh, good. That was the last one. Like, we're talking like a full, like, 20 seconds or something. Okay. Really, I'm just worried about that happening. Doesn't matter. Alright, now I have an elite to fight. I want to see if... Like, do I even have any... Oh yeah, I've gotten two amulets so far. But now I can get an even better one, maybe. Whoa, that's a bit more than I expected. Yeah! Hey! And I got to use it in the end after all. Not in the way that I expected to. Yeah, just give me more. Well, now let's see in the next area if I'm able to take a... If I'm able to now take a new perk or a new mutation, or if now I am locked out of being able to do it. Because I don't know. Nah. There we go. Just do that, I guess. Oh, hey! Yeah, a new little trap setup up there with the Super Meat Boy saws going out. You could convince me to take this one. I am going to take it. I like it. And that should be everything. Yep. Clock tower, I don't really expect to be any issue at all here. What do you got? Yeah, so I can take a third one now. And yeah, you can't get it anymore. Okay. What's one that would be good? You know what? Let's get the cooldown. Because I've been using skills enough. I don't really have a whole lot of tactics, but it's like... That will... Yeah, it's under 10 seconds now, so that's something at least. Yeah, a very situational setup I have going on here. Oh, that's not bad. Not right now. Very situational setup I have here where I gotta be stabbing enemies in the back while they're bleeding and after I've taken damage. And that's how I get maximum amount of damage here. Alright. Also, I think they're making new noises. I don't remember those sound effects happening when they were attacking me previously. Maybe? I don't know. Cannibals, that is. Yeah, no real plan here for the clock tower. I'm just gonna get in and get out. Grab as much brutality as I can shove into my stubby little arms. Oh, hey. That's some pretty good damage, though. I'm impressed with that, at least. Would probably be more useful to have the... Wow, Trap's doing a lot of damage, though. Wait, why are there archers up? Why are there undead archers up here? These guys are kind of out of their depth, to say the least. Also, I'm fairly certain that they never appeared before this. Nah. With the Knife Storm, I probably could get rid of that curse pretty easily, but I don't really think I need to all that much. Yeah! Yep, that's gonna be an issue. Let's go. Oh, Knife Storm, man. Hey, look at that damage, though. Even plus 100%. I need to charge that up, too, to even get it to go off in the first place. It's not worth it. Oh, and I did do some testing out with, like, deployable traps, with, like, seeing how far I could get with like, the new turret, and really, I think... Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. And I think that, the thing with, deployable traps now is that Well, at least the problem that I'm having with it is that they, Oh yeah, I forgot that I don't actually have the plus 100% burning now, so that wasn't all that useful. But yeah, deployable traps now I don't think have nearly as much health as they used to, because they can barely take a hit before going down. Like the incomplete one doing a sweep will take down one of those rapid turrets in like a single hit. Well, and if you have two of them, we'll take down both of them at the same time. I don't know if that's something that's new, because I usually don't really screw around with deployable traps all that much, but, like, it was something that I noticed. Alright, just gotta get up to the assassin, and I don't think there'll be any issue at all fighting her this time. Okay. Yeah, having the blood shield along with this perk combination is definitely helping out a bit. Yeah. You know, I think it's actually probably going to be over here. Well, this is over here, so that's worthwhile just alone. I want that 36% extra health. Yeah, we're now back at crazy huge health amounts in the game. Oh yeah, and trackers now have a new little sound effect for when they're attacking you. Because usually they were silent. It's like little ninjas or something. I don't know. Skills still super good for going through this area. Hey. Alright, this should be the end though. Yep. Alright, let's check to see if there are any new changes with the assassin. I'm gonna say probably not. And now would be the time to also... Like, okay, I'm gonna reset this, because I don't really think that this one is doing me too much good. I am liking this one, though. Nothing else from Brutality is really going to be doing too much good for me. No enemies. I mean, obviously this one. And, I don't know. Let's go with this. Because I've been using the shield a decent amount. Get one of each color. All right. An assassin's dagger on the assassin. Makes sense. Not hitting these parries as well as I should be. Oh, whatever. Fine. Stop turning around. Ah, I should have brought a bear trap in here. That's what. Yeah, there you go. Fortunately, she's also doing a ton of damage to me, so... That's a little bit more questionable. Okay. Alright, that was a pretty smooth battle. Okay, then. I don't know if I'm going to be staying with, like, the alpha update for, like, some of the future challenge or showcase or whatever runs, but, like, you know, because it crashes so often. But, like, I'm definitely interested in still following along and seeing what else they're doing here. I always like seeing the game as it's being developed, like what crazy stuff they're doing next.